Good afternoon. It's Gia with Missing Persons Awareness Network. We are in a car full of women in Kentucky. There is a woman named Brandy Osborn who has been missing since February 14th, 2020. And she lived in Williamson County. And her then on and off boyfriend, off at the time, just to show you guys a little bit about where we're at. She was supposed to meet him for dinner, and they were supposed to spend the night at a motel. That's what she had told her children when she left them. And this is the road that she was on to go and see him. They had been together for 6 years, on and off again, and it was an extremely abusive relationship. And this is the road she took to go meet him. So here is you guys can, Google Earth it while we're talking, or search it afterward. It's the Calvert City Marina here in Marshall County, Kentucky. It's kind of like a one-way in, one-way out type of, right? Yeah. And it was the river was very high. So there's a lot to this, and there's nothing of this that's ever come out. While you guys, we've only got a little bit of a ways left to get there. So while we're waiting, I'll continue telling you guys the story. The river was extremely high that night. Again, it's February 14th, so you can imagine how cold it was. There's a little bit of a water right here. And she was coming out here for, I really don't know why. That is the story that Brandy told her kids. We don't know if it's true. They weren't together. It was just a couple days that they were broken up, and she had moved out into a family's home. As I said, I think we just kind of run right into it. I'm really not sure. It looks much different on Google Earth, I must say. And you can't walk. If you know what I mean. If you're on Google Earth, you can't walk anywhere near this area. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but this river runs all the way down to New Orleans. I've already worked with NamUs. We are working on this right now. It's been 20 months that she's been missing. She has not been entered into NamUs yet. So I've already entered her and working with my guy at NamUs, and this is another state, so he is working with the regional person that runs all of the cases in Kentucky. So we're just kind of all together. I spoke with the...
You arrive in 1,000 feet.
Who's supposed to complete the NamUs so that if you guys are searching and
you've arrived at your destination.
It's NamUs.gov. All unidentified bodies that are located should already be entered into NamUs, but then the missing persons across, this is a nationwide database run by the Department of Justice. Is this it? You think we got to turn around? Yeah, the barge is okay. Okay. This is the road that where? That what? That Brandy came down? Oh, this is it, girl?
Which one? This one? The one we're on?
Well, and there's multiple homes right there. Okay. Well, do you guys see a do not enter?
Nope.
How do you know that this is where... So I have Mom, and she'll be talking to you guys in a little bit here. There's nothing. If you guys Google this, you will see that it says that she was missing, that there was multiple searches, and that's it. Nothing is ever said again. No news reports on anything. No law enforcement. It says stop. I want to see this. Get out. Or stop. Now I want to see this, what this says. See, the thing is, I got questions. And my questions aren't being answered, and so I guess you gotta find out yourself. And it says Wepfer. I'm just gonna... Wepfer, that's the name of the company. It says stop. Wepfer Marine employees, if you answer yes to any of these questions, do not proceed any further and call your direct supervisor for further instruction. Wepfer Marina visitors and contractors, if you answer yes to any of these questions, we ask that you please depart from Wepfer Marine property immediately. Do you or anyone in your household have a fever, chills, cough, congestion, and shortness of breath over the past 14 days? Well, I have shortness of breath because I'm fat. Have you or anyone in your household had any contact with any person confirmed positive or being tested? Blah, blah, blah. Have you or anyone in your household been a large social gathering where known positive COVID? Blah, blah, blah. So no. So that means we can keep going. So this is supposed to be the location that Brandy had come and pulled in her vehicle. You can see how far down that goes. It's beautiful. There's a lot to this, and I am going to put it out. I'm actually doing a podcast for the first time, which I initially had no interest in doing, but I've kind of started changing my mind about things, and me keeping investigation information quiet. When you have a case like this where you've got a woman of 3 children missing and nothing is said, nothing is said. You start wondering why. That whole tree line there is Illinois. I don't understand. So this is about 9 o'clock that she would have showed up here. She left home at approximately 8 p.m. according to the children. The oldest person at the house when she left was a teenager, which is her sister. And I mean, you could see apparently anybody can come through here. Well, there's a human being over there and that thingy right there. So all of this is up above water. I don't know how far, but you could just walk right in, I guess. And I don't understand that. So I'll start with some stuff. Brandy, all her life, even when she was a kid, to many people, I've already spoken to multiple witnesses, people that have known her and people that knew her on and off boyfriend, had a fear of water. Not only did she have a fear of water, she would never go into anything that was above knee level. She had a pool in her backyard, but she didn't go swimming. They always saw her, even neighbors saw her in a bikini, but she wouldn't actually get into her own pool. Why? At 9 o'clock at night, she gets here, comes from here, pulls in into this, where all of this was above water. I'm sorry, above level, ground level. And she gets out, and according to what the boyfriend said, by the way, the boyfriend was the captain of the barge. Why would she get out of her car and start walking towards that barge I just showed you? And according to what we've read, she says that she was coming his way, and he says no. We told her to go back, to not be anywhere near, and then she got swept away and is never seen again. Why would that happen? Why would something like that happen? And let's go back. The boyfriend has had multiple battery charges since 2001. Since she disappeared February 14th, 2020, you can look it up yourself, I already have the case files. Since she's disappeared, he had another girlfriend that he was cheating on Brandy with, and she was beat for 2 days, according to the report, and thrown out of a moving vehicle that he was driving, and is currently in jail. waiting trial. Does this story sound like it should be quiet? Does this story sound like this was an accident? Why is there no investigation? And let me just clear this up. There is no law enforcement agency of any kind in Illinois or Kentucky or the leading agency here, which is the Kentucky State Fish and Wildlife, which is a law enforcement agency. Why has nobody ever once contacted Mom and said, this is what we're doing in our investigation, or this was an accident, or this was not an accident? Nothing. There's been zero information at all. And I didn't even find out about this until a week ago Friday. I never heard that she went missing. Hey, Mom. Okay, so we're going to talk to Mom. I haven't answered any questions. I don't even know if there are any. So I'm going to ask you questions, okay? Okay, I can put you on video?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is Mom, and Mom's name is Christina. So I'm just going to ask you questions to kind of prompt you in a direction, okay?
Okay.
Okay. How old was Brandy?
She was 37.
Okay. Can you tell us when you found out that she was missing?
I found out through a lady that watched her children. She told me to come to Thompsonville, which was where my daughter and my grandsons were staying after her boyfriend of 6 years throwed her and the kids out, and I was to meet her, and she called me at 7:30 in the morning, and I told her that I wasn't meeting her anywhere until she told me what was going on. And she told me that either my daughter was missing or that she had drowned. So I drove to Thompsonville. And she couldn't give me any kind of information. So I got mad. I left. I went home. And I called the Kentucky State Police. And that's how I found out that she allegedly was swept away into the Tennessee River.
I had no intentions of getting emotional, but okay. So, what happened since? What did they say to you when you called the police and they said that something had happened to your daughter? What had they said?
I just told them that I had heard a story from a friend, and I gave them her name, and I wanted to know if it was my daughter. And they told me yes. And then I lost my mind.
Did they tell you to come down here?
No.
And this was still in the morning on the 15th, right? The morning
Yes.
after. Okay. At this point, did you know that the kids were by themselves in the house by themselves all night long?
No.
Okay.
I found out later.
Okay. So at what point did you know that she was even here, or was told that she was even here?
When I come down here and Jake's truck and her truck was parked right behind his. And
Is that here on this road here?
Yes. But the water was all the way up to probably about right here. And everything around here was flooded.
So let me get this straight. You're saying from where you're approximately where you're standing right here, everything where I'm at, all the way towards the water where you could barely see, all of this was water.
Yes, every bit of it was water.
You saw that yourself?
Yes.
So when you got here, do you remember like what time and date you got here?
I got here on the 16th. It was on Sunday.
Did they tell you to come?
No.
So nobody ever told you to come here?
No. I came down here on my own accord just to see, if her vehicle was here. And a Walt Whitfer from the marina over here came and talked to me. And that's when they had Kurt Kerner and Lee Cope was here, and they weren't, offering any information. Everything was a yes and no, but I was the one that asked. I asked if she would have been allowed, on the barge. He said it was against company policy for her to be on the barge, and I learned later that there's no one to be on the property.
No one was allowed on the
On
property.
the property, yes.
But she was allowed.
Obviously, she was here, or no one knew that she was here.
So we're going to come out because we might have a visitor. Looks like there's a vehicle coming. That should be interesting. So when you got here, did you see any boats, any searches, any like?
There was boats here,
Sure.
The rescue guy, was here. Kurt Kerner, Lee Cope was here, and they were, still had, a boat out there, and I walked up here, where the water, wasn't, and I was screaming her name and looking for her all day long. I was here all day. I didn't leave.
I just want to know where my baby is. She's my only daughter.
I'm never going to have another one. And I want to know what happened to my daughter. And where is she? Someone knows. And I want to know. I want to bring her home. I want to give her a proper funeral. I want to lay my baby to rest. Somebody knows what happened to my daughter. And I just hope and pray and I ask God every night that someone will be bold and brave enough to come and state what really happened to her. I just want to bring her home. I want a place to go visit her. I talk to her every day. But her children have no place to go and visit her, her brother, all the people, her friends that knew her and loved her. It's like she disappeared from the face of the earth. And I have to live with this every day. I lay awake in bed at night, thinking, where? Why? Someone knows. Please just come forward, anybody. I just want my baby to be brought home.
Is there anything you want to say to anybody? Because one thing that we figured out, right, with my investigation and everything that you've known, there's one.
Yeah, I have one thing to say. Anybody that knows anything about this and has kept quiet about it, I pray for your soul. May God have mercy on you.
But we know that there's others. We know that there's others, and what I'm trying to say is, the police, nobody's ever called you up
Nope.
since then, right?
Nope.
Okay. But we know that somebody knows something, and I know that there's people that want to talk, and I also know that they don't know who to call. So I want to say that if you guys want to talk, to just call our office. Call 312-620-0788. That is my office. My name is Gia, G-I-A, and you can call it, and it's going to come to my cell phone because I'm out here. And don't text. We don't get those. But if you could please call, because I know that there's more than one person out there that knows the truth. But we need to get there.
Please just call.
Well,
No matter what time of day or what time of night, it may be some little bitty information that you may think may not matter. And it may be of utter importance. Just please, if you know anything, please just call.
I want to talk about what happened. So nothing ever came out of this, right? And they never didn't find anything. She's not been found. She's still missing. Okay.
Absolutely.
I just want to. Another thing that's really important is what happened 4 months later. There was something found. and I want you to talk about that. How did you find out? And I guess for your initial call, right? Law enforcement, Massac County Sheriff's Office calls you. That's 50 miles down the river. What happens?
My sister-in-law was the one that got a hold of me because me being, clumsy like I am, I shipped my phone in my car door, and it busted my phone. So they got a hold of my sister-in-law, and she got a hold of my niece. And then I called Sergeant Richardson, and I was allowed to come to Metropolis and
Metropolis, Illinois.
And I picked up, at first, the initial thing that they said was that it was in a duffel bag, and when I got there, it was 2 trash bags full of stuff
That's
belonged.
30-gallon trash bags. I just wanted to make sure everybody understands. There's 2 30-gallon trash bags that were located. And we're not going to talk about those items, but I'll go this route. And I did already speak to Massac County Sheriff's Office as well. They had found these bags, a duffel bag, off the river. By the time Mom got, and this was June 24th. June 24th, 2020 is about 4.5 months after her disappearance. And we know it's hers because there is identification, social security cards, among many other things that I'm not going to discuss. There was a bunch of clothes that were found in these 2 trash bags that I have personally seen and gone through myself. And they were found 50 miles down the river with social security cards, books, right? There's notebooks, there's handwritten that I can clearly read, right?
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about that. That bag was found June 24th. The report was written June 25th, and at some point after, Mom was called, right? How is it possible that you can go from over here, right? Because
Yes.
Mom already said that this is all flooded. This is flooded from right about where we're standing all the way down. And we're going to walk there again. You want to walk there again? All the way down. All of this is water. Why would you bring, if you're parking over here, to come all the way here with a duffel bag to go and say hi when you're supposed to be going out to dinner and spending the night at a motel? Why would you bring a duffel bag? Why is it the only thing that's found all the way in Massac County, 50 miles away? Why would that happen? How did that happen? Is there an investigation? No. As far as something sinister? No. Is there somebody to blame? I don't know. I know that from what I've been told by law enforcement is that there was not enough information to make the investigation get turned into that. But here's the thing. I don't get paid for what I do, and I'm not a law enforcement agent. And I heard what I heard, and I investigated. And I came here. Well, Jesus Christ, where else have we gone? We've gone to a million places, and I've gotten case files, and I've talked to law enforcement, and I've talked to the person that owns all of this. Moments ago, before I started this video, I've spoken to multiple people, and there's nothing that sways to me that this was accidental. And where did she come in? Because the story is that a barge like that, to get off of that, you need a tugboat or a Johnny boat to get from this boat, to come up to this area. And that he supposedly said to her that, don't come this way, don't come, we're coming towards you. Why would a mother of 3 come with a duffel bag all the way down here in water? We're above water. The water was above my head at this point. You can see the level changes, and you're coming down. And where was the tugboat and the Johnny boat to come and get her to the point where she says, don't? Where was that? Where was the Johnny boat at the time? I don't see one now. There might be one, might be around the corner. I don't. There's a boat right there, hanging. So at what point does he say to her, "Hey, stop"? The writing said that we told her to stop. We told her to turn around so that she could be out of the water, and she didn't listen, and she got swept away. If you guys, I know I got a lot of sleuthers here. I know that. Got a lot of good people that follow us. So at what point does this become accidental? At what point do you need to be in law enforcement to say there's not enough here to investigate that this is more than an accident? So we should just leave it alone and wait till she's found, so that when we find her, her body might be able to tell us the story of what happened. Can you imagine that under these barges, when a body is found, what kind of evidence is going to show on the body? Now, I'm not going to go further than that, but I do promise you that there's not going to be much. I see the first question. What keep nod of searches have been? So initially, Katie, this search was, there were drones, there were canine dogs. Tell me if I'm wrong. Canine dogs up and down in the river, well, of course the boats, and ground searches alongside. There were sonars. Yeah, there's 15 different agencies. However, in their multitude of resources that were used, again, nothing is found. And eventually, shortly after days, maybe weeks, that stopped, and there's no more. There's no more searches. I've worked with NamUs. We've done any unidentified bodies from here to New Orleans. There's nothing prior to 2020. There's nothing even prior to 2000 for the record, and you guys can search if you know how to do that. And my guy at the agency has confirmed that as well, that, they'll keep an eye out, because sometimes, unfortunately, unidentified bodies are not entered into NamUs, maybe even generations later, sadly enough. But if you don't know NamUs exists, you don't know to add those in there. So when we spoke to the wildlife, they did say that they were going to work on that, which of course we appreciate. There's just a lot more work here to do. So let me see if there's any other questions. What kind of searches? I think I answered that. Who is missing? You just have to restart the video. You can start that over as soon as I turn it off, and you'll be able to see. Brenda, same thing, you can rewind the video once we're done playing. We've got all of our videos on Facebook. But we are in Kentucky. This is Calvert City. There's no sign for the main road, which is over there. There's no sign that says we can't be here, so we came. There is a little sign over there, and it's all about COVID questions. And that's it. What do you say to her mom? And maybe that's why nobody's called her. Is it for sure she's in the water? No. Julie, let's just say how it is. She might never have come here. Her vehicle was found here 2 days later. We don't know if the vehicle was here prior or how it got here. It could have been here the same night. We don't know if she's the one who drove it here. We have no evidence that anybody was here. I requested what we call here in Illinois a FOIA. Out here it's called an open acts request. I was denied it, but as always I fight those, and I've won every one of them so far, unless they're still pending. So for those of you who know, I'm coming for you, because I'm going to get that file. 20 months you said that this is an investigation, and yet I see no responses. Believe me, I'm going to get that file. Is it for sure she's in the water? No. Any other questions? When you talk to her, ask her for signs or some answers. Katie, I don't know. Who am I asking that to? I don't know who to ask that to. Prayers, the family, and hopefully you find closure. If there's anything I could teach you guys, don't ever use the word closure when it comes to a missing person's family or even murder, because at the end of the day, it'll never be closure. It'll be a steps of peace, steps where there's sudden answers or an arrest or, you know, a conviction and a sentencing. That's bits of peace. But there's never going to be closure. You're never going to be able to understand, or you're definitely never going to be able to answer my questions that I've asked here on this video today. Why would she have gotten in the water? How did her car get here? Why did she even come here? Why would she have gotten out of the car if she had her cell phone and he had his cell phone and they were going to go out to dinner? Why would she have come out here with a duffel bag? And if she didn't come out here with a duffel bag, why did her duffel bag with personal belongings that have never hit the water? The clothes that were in there were sopping wet. The IDs, written hand notebooks, clear as day. They're not destroyed. They would have been destroyed, especially 4.5 months later, 50 miles down with barges everywhere. They're not destroyed. They're completely legible. And of course I have pictures. And of course I have video of every single piece of belonging. Those have not ever gotten anywhere. The police give it back to the family. A lot of people are saying prayers and stuff, so you can, you know, read those after at your own leisure. You okay to be on video, Marlena? Okay. That's our friend who also had somebody missing, and we worked with her, what was that, 2017, 2018, and ever since. She's helped with all of our cases. That was for Sean Neal, and Mom's actually in the car hanging out, my little angel. We've become very, very close together, and that mom, Judy Neal, is here to support, like Marlena is to Christina, because that's the most important thing. And they both lost their children, and they both know exactly what this is like. In fact, Judy's son also went missing off of the same river, which sad. But that still follows the same. Okay, yeah. Yeah. And so, what has the boyfriend said? Well, the boyfriend hasn't said anything to Mom. Can I say that or no? Has he said anything to you since the day she disappeared? You can let it all hang out if you want. It's all you. I'm not hiding anything today.
He only texts me things.
But when she went missing that night, he called his mom
His mom
first.
was the first person that he called.
And then there was your friend that called you, correct?
Yes,
And did he call the police, or you don't know?
I don't know.
We don't even know who called the police. But we do know that the police were called about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely.
But she was here at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
And law enforcement said that she got into the water between 11 and 11:15 p.m.
Yes.
What took 2 hours?
I don't know.
What took 2 hours after she went missing to have the police called?
I don't know.
So for 4 hours, right, she supposedly was here. No police were called. No witnesses that we know of. That's fantastic. Okay. And we do not know, Katie, if the police were called. By him, I should say. I'm sorry. So we're going to see if there's any other questions. There's a lot of people on watching. So I hope you guys can understand. Anyone search. So the vehicle, a good question, Katie, I don't know who you are, but you got good questions. The vehicle, again, was found here. Mom comes 2 days later. She sees the vehicle. She gets into the vehicle. She still has all the belongings. All of those things have been put into place far away from Mom, so nobody thinks to be dumb enough to try to grab any of those items. However, I did get to see them all, and I could tell you that the vehicle was left for the family to pick up. Later, your son picks up the vehicle and is driving, and I believe state police, correct? Yes. State police ran the plate because he was driving it, and it said that it said there was a missing person's vehicle, and so from that point on, it got towed. But the initial law enforcement called you up and said, "Hey, here's the car. We don't need it."
The very next day.
Hope that answers your question. And where is the vehicle now? We confirmed, I don't know, days ago that it's still impounded. Yeah. In Illinois.
In Illinois.
Okay. I could barely even see the wording. Where is this at? Well, if you guys could rewind, you'll be able to watch the whole thing. It says, my apologies. You are right. It's okay, Janice. Her mother was talking about, it's so bright out here, I could barely read the words. Talking about, he had a daughter, if she believes her daughter will give her signs. Oh, so they're speaking spiritually if your daughter has given you signs.
The only sign that I have received from my daughter.
You have some daughter?
The only sign that I have seen from my daughter was an impression of a butterfly in my kitchen window because we have a butterfly thing together. Just to let me know that she's okay. But I do talk to her every day. Does that help?
Oh my goodness, you brought me an umbrella. I can read. I can read. Thanks, Judy. Did someone search the car? Well, we really don't know what has been done to the vehicle since it got impounded, but definitely no one touched it when the family picked it up.
Nope.
And the family has taken all of the items since and locked away at a nice, safe place, so that if somebody actually paid attention and wanted to investigate the evidence that was in the vehicle or the other things that were put on the river.
But the car was ransacked.
Well, we can talk about that too if you want. I'm laying it all out. So explain that. Did you come here on the 14th to look at the car and then come back on the 16th?
I come here the 16th to look at her vehicle. I never touched it. You know, I didn't know that it was going to be released to me that day.
And there was gas. The doors were locked and the windows were closed.
Everything was locked up.
Okay.
And probably 4 or 5 days after that, I came and the car had been gone through, ransacked. Obviously, had been opened with keys because the windows weren't broke. It hadn't been pried. The doors weren't pried, and they had gone through everything in her vehicle that was in there. And I got the leftovers of what was left.
Tell them about the purses.
She
There's a
had
vehicle
3
coming.
purses in the car, and when I got back, all the purses were empty.
What do you mean that the purses were empty?
There was nothing left in her purses.
So were they dumped out in front of you, or
No.
just like stuff was missing out of the purse?
Stuff was missing out of the purses.
Having missing persons in your family is the hardest thing to deal with. Praying for you all.
Thank you.
Please continue, sweetie, to talk with her and keep an open mind and pay attention. Okay, and that's it actually. So we're gonna let you go. This has been a pretty emotional. We've been here since yesterday. We will still be here again tonight. I see a big vehicle trying to visit. I think I have no problem talking to. Hey, can you close this one? Because I don't know what I'm doing there. So we'll leave it at a close. If you guys have any information, I've already given you my number. You can see it on every single missing persons poster that we have. That'd be area code 312. No? Okay. 312-620-0788. I know that somebody knows something, so please don't hesitate to contact us. You can remain anonymous, and that's okay to do. But at least if we have any additional information, I know that it's okay. I'm sorry, what? Well, there's no sign that says it's private or we can't come in. Well, we're not doing anything except standing here, and I'm pretty sure that there would be a sign that would say that we can't come here if we can't be here. Okay, well, I've already told you that we are not. Do you own this place? Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. So, this might get interesting.
Yeah.
So if you guys have anything, please give us a call. I guess you might not have seen the phone in my hand. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have known at this point that I am definitely sick of keeping my silence. I'm kind of enjoying that. So yeah. So we have nothing else to do here, so we're gonna step out. I don't give a damn what he's doing. Please. So yeah, so I appreciate that. You guys, again, 312-620-0788 if you have any information. I know you do. I know that there was at least another person here last night. You don't have to be afraid. You could definitely stay anonymous. But this family needs answers more than anything. And just as important, we need Brandy to come home. Thank you guys so much. And maybe we'll have a second video for additional excitement. All right, bye-bye.